afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Propagandacast Lehr, this time looking at Soviet openings. Yes, indeed. And, I mean, overall for the Soviet openings, there's currently sort of a larger variety of them compared to some of the other factions. I'll also be going through the primary ones, talking maybe some of the other sort of less used ones. But overall, most Soviet openings right now sort of focus around getting a bunch of conscripts. Personally, I prefer going for 4 conscripts. After the 3rd conscript, I'm going for Molotovs, by the way. Although if I'm going for the round against the Oberkommandant, I'll probably just go straight for the 4th one. That's sort of the primary, just pushing a lot of conscripts, hitting the field hard, trying to outmaneuver your opponents, trying to, pin them down. But at the same time, never really committing to any fights you can't really win. Just, hitting here and there, disrupting your opponent's economy, and sort of trying to slowly pull up for resource advantage, then hit them harder. That's sort of the initial one. Usually, then at some point, you might consider a supporting company here. That's common. Maxims and mortars, maybe a field gun, depending on the situation. After the 4 conscripts, also works out. And then you'll usually try and build for the tank command. You might skip it, or you'll usually go for the T-70 unless you're far behind, in which case you might be aware of vehicles and go for the S-26M. So that's sort of, in that regard, sort of the basics of sort of most conscript build openings. There's some varieties there. They'll go for 3 conscripts, then they'll go for a special command. Some might consider snipers, though they are rarer. Or they'll usually then go for maxims and mortars from the supporting company, just relying on the 3 conscripts to carry them through with that. So that, in that sense, is sort of the more standard ones. There might be some that then go for just special revive command starts. They're rarer, but they do happen. They'll usually go for some penal tubers. Some very rare might in fact go for a sniper right off the bat, usually after a conscript squad, so they just don't fall too far behind of territory. That's sort of the risk you go for a sniper start, but just having an infantry squad out that can sort of help offset it slightly. And then they'll usually go for penal tubers to support it as well. But again, they are rare. Similarly, supporting company starts still happen. They'll usually then be going heavy on maxims. Usually get like 3 or 4. Push out with them. Maybe go for mortars and field guns to back them up. I'm particularly going to need field guns or guardsmen, because you're going to have no attack because maxims can't deal with vehicles at all. So that's sort of another direction. Doctrinally, most players here will go for guard rifle, guard motor, something like that. Guardsmen just really sort of fit in well with any sort of early opening strategies. You just go for a bunch, support your troops with them. They can deal with light vehicles. They're really, really good. In fact, I'd argue perhaps a bit too good. But they can sort of just really support, cover up a lot of threats. And again, you go for a lot of snipers. Go for sniper builds. Again, you usually want them to cover up your snipers. They're really good there. And they're just really good working with conscripts as well. They're just, again, really good. They can sort of support any strategy. Or they can just, be the strategy. I mean, some players just go for a lot of guardsmen and put your head there with the DP light machine guns. Usually there'll also be a bunch of mines being laid down by the Serb player, and of course lots of sandbags at tactical positions to that way gain an edge over the opponent during any engagements. But overall, sort of Soviet openings, usually again if they're conscript behavior, rely not necessarily engaging every time with the enemy, but looking to keep the enemy running about and sort of trying to that way spread them out and then sort of use all their conscripts to hit them at one spot, that way overwhelming them. So usually sort of counter these Soviet openings. You actually do not want to split up. You want to focus on a smaller set of territory, going for the machine guns, have them overlap and sort of slowly push ahead. You do not want to split up thinly because that's when the Soviets strike back and do really nasty things to you. They go for the conscript builds versus penal trooper builds, which are rarer. Actually, you might want to spread out a bit since they'll be a bit stronger with map control, can try and outmaneuver them. Then even then, be careful about that sort of stuff. I mean, they could still pull some nasty tricks on you. So I think that sort of largely covers the Soviet openings there. Again, there's sort of some degree of variety, just sort of went through the main sort of directions, paths they can take. And again, personally, I just go for a lot of conscripts and just try to play aggressively and flexibly and overall just agilely across the battlefield using Molotovs and other things to just keep my opponent on the back foot and that way just keep them in control. Overall, focusing on fuel points, that way also building up an advantage for my T-70s, whatever light vehicles, and just pulling for medium tanks fast. I mean, there's a lot of options there. In that sense, the Soviets are probably one of the stronger factions because they do have a large variety of openings which make them harder to predict and of course give them a lot of options. Of course, versus Serbs, if you're hung behind, a good teleman on the right spot, like here for example, can also do a lot of good to sort of counter these sorts of openings. So, there you go. I think that sort of covers here the Soviet openings for now. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you liked it. Hope you gave some ideas. This is all just general sort of hints there to how it's going to get going on it. There's not, deep stuff that's really needed to it at the moment. I mean, the Soviets are just that strong. So, I mean, again, just, use your troops intelligently, know when to engage and when not to engage. And against the Soviets, sometimes the best way to fight is not necessarily to actually fight them, but to try and avoid and sort of hit all the vulnerable points, force them to run after you. So again, hopefully this video has been a help to you. Hopefully give you some tips on how to get better with the Soviets, struggling, or just give some new ideas for Soviet builds. If it has, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. And if you like what I do and wish to see it continue, do consider donating, as that helps me out a ton, or pledge on Patreon. Links are in the video description. This is Imperial Link saying cheers, thank you for watching, hope to see you all tomorrow, or another day for that matter, for another video. Cheers.